Kim here today from Blank Page Muse. Welcome to our very first video and at-home show. Today I just wanted to introduce you to our small mom and pop rubber stamp company called Blank Page Muse. We're based in Riverside, California, and when I say small, we are small. It's just my husband, Philip, and our 2 kids. Our son is right behind the camera right now helping with this video and all these fun parts. We press the stamps, we trim them, ship them, we do all of that ourselves. We have stamps from many independent designers and artists around the world. The set I'm going to use today is called Woodland. It's designed by Donna Gray. And as a little benefit for you, make sure you visit us at blankpagemuse.com, and we have a special sale code good for 25% off, and you can use that code till July 31st. Come on in and get to know us. Thanks so much. Let's play. These particular stamps came from hand-carved stamps she made on her own, and then she stamped them and we turned them into rubber, but they're based on her own hand-carved images, which I think is just absolutely amazing. But I am going to use just a few of them today for a simple card project, and we have a coordinating stencil we've made. So I am going to use this girl here, this mushroom, and a flower, and 1 sentiment. I'm going to set these others aside over here. And I'm going to start with the background first because this is kind of a wet project. We're going to emboss it and use some distress ink. You want to do that first, so set it aside and let it dry a little bit. Then we'll get to doing these. So I'm just push this off to the side here. Here's my stencil. These stencils are about 4 inches by 5 inches, and they fit on your basic card, and it works just really well. And I already have the papers cut and the base for the card. I like to use craft. It's very flexible. I'm going to set that aside, and here is my paper. And here we go. Let's see. I like to put some paper underneath it because it gets messy. And I really like to turn the stencil off to the side a little bit. It looks a little more dynamic and exciting. Instead of, you could do it however you want. You could put it straight up. You can turn it to the side. It works just fine, however. And I am going to use Versamark. And with the sponge dauber, I'm going to open it up, and you could tape this down if you want with some washi tape, whatever to hold it. I use my fingers, and it's just as easy for me. And just get it nice and wet. This is an Emboss Resist procedure. You put the embossing down with your favorite powder, whatever you like to use. I'm using a sparkly white one. It's a holographic one by Ranger Inks, but you can use whatever you like, just to get some nice contrast and some interest going here. So just get it nice and wet. Look at it, it looks shiny. You probably have enough of the embossing ink on there. And that looks pretty good. Just close this up, set it aside. Lift up your stencil. And I don't know if you can see that. You can see a little bit of shine from the embossing ink. And here's my powder. Just going to sprinkle it over. And be generous with it. Tap it off. It leaves some extra sparkle on there, which is totally fine. Okay. And I always put the lid back on because I'm clumsy and it'll knock over and spill, and that wouldn't be very fun. Okay. Now it's going to get loud, sorry about that. Okay. That looks pretty good. I'm going to set this aside. Now the fun part with the ink. Just going to I'm using the Distress Oxide Broken China. Just going to put it on my no stick mat here, just a nice smear. Set that aside. Then I'm going to get it wet. Spritz it a little bit. I also like to get the card face wet a little bit too. It seems to help the ink flow a little better. I'll set that aside and then just smush it on there. There we go. Get it how you like it. I have a wet cloth set aside here, and I like just kind of dabbing it like this. Lifts off some of the ink and gives some more texture, which is really nice. And let's get a little more ink across the top here like I did on the original one, or my sample. There we go. Wipe this away. And then for the resist, just kind of wipe it back off and it reveals those little feathers. The stencil is designed also by Donna Gray, and online it's brand new in our store. We have a bundle where you can get the stamp set and the stencil, and you're all set. That's good. I want a little more ink. I missed one spot there. It's nice thing with the distress ink, you can keep coming back in a little bit and work on it, add what you like. There we go. Alright, that's that. I'm going to let that set aside to dry. I'm going to wipe this off. And that's it. Now, my hands aren't too blue, so it's not too bad. We need to stamp these, and I like to use watercolor paper. It's very heavy, it's very forgiving, and it stamps really, really nice. Also, when I'm doing watercoloring, I like to stamp them and emboss it, because then it gives a little bit of a texture on it, and it helps hold the color in, especially if you specialize in coloring outside the lines. It helps a lot. And for my stamps, this is just naked rubber. There's no cushion cling on it. When we press them, this is exactly how they come off of the plates and out of the vulcanizer. It's just plain rubber. You can add cushion cling if you like, but honestly what I do is I just have double stick tape on my acrylic block, and I just stick them on here and then ink it up. That looks pretty good and shiny. I got some on the edges, it's fine, it's not going to hurt anything. And let's stamp it. That looks good. I'm going to stamp it a couple of times. So I want 3 or 4 flowers. Set that one aside. Looks pretty good. I'm going to get another sheet of paper. And I'm going to do these in black. You can use whatever black embossing powder you have. I have this one. It's a very ultra fine one, and it holds the detail really well. Again, use whatever you have. You don't have to have anything special. And there we go. It looks pretty good. There's a couple spots right here. And it stamps just fine on watercolor paper. This is actually the rough side of the watercolor paper. And that looks pretty good. That should work. Set that one aside. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and emboss this one. There's the flowers. There's the flowers all ready to go. I'm not worried about these extra little flakes around here because it's going to be cut off anyway. I'm going to go ahead and stamp the mushroom and the wonderful little nature girl there on the same sheet while I have it out. You can either dab it on like that or stamp it however you want to do it, just like that. You just want to get it nice and wet. You want the powder to grab. Looks good. And let's do a couple of mushrooms. Alright. And that looks pretty good. It's good enough for right now. And dump this back in. And heat it really quick. And it is all embossed. Let it cool down. It's really hot right now, so let it cool. Set your stamps aside. You're done with them for now. And I like to use watercolor pens. I have these. It's a simple set I got on Amazon. And they're just really simple. They've got lots of fun colors, and it's really easy to do. I'm not a perfect colorist or anything, but anybody can do this. And honestly, because you've embossed this, it really helps hold the colors inside. Okay, now we've got the flowers heat embossed. Again, it gives these wonderful little ridges, so it's really easy to color. I'm going to go ahead and save a little bit of time and color them, and I'll be right back. And there we are. They are colored, and I've saved also the time. You don't have to watch me cut them all out individually, so we can get right to the assembling of the card. But you can play with any colors you like. You can customize it however you want. I like bright, bold colors because this is whimsical, this is fun, this is what we all need right now. And let me move this out of the way. Here we go. I'm going to move this cork out of the way. I just like to use it to when I'm heat embossing so it doesn't fry my table. Okay, you've got the background you did earlier. Make sure it's dry and you're all set. And what I like to do is I like to distress the edges of it, so I just take a pair of scissors and run it around the edge. And I can go ahead and just skip over and just use this one. It's ready, so you don't have to watch that. And then you just want to play a little bit. You want to arrange them, see how you like it, and put them on here, layer them up. One little tip you want to do, I don't cut really, really close to the edges. I leave a lot of white. So what you do is you take your ink and your water brush, grab a little bit of it, and then just come in and add a little bit of the blue onto that white, and that'll help her blend into the background a little bit better. And you can also take some black and go around the edges and clean that up. But you want to cover up those big white spaces, and all of a sudden she blends in and she looks perfect. There you go. That's just a little hint. Okay, I like this. And I love these little mushrooms. Maybe we'll put one more flower like up here. Let's arrange them like so. Let's tuck her in here. And I think a little mushroom there. And I also did the sentiment. I am going to cut that out. I'm just going to cut it out in the basic shape here. This was just on a scrap. Cutting it like that. And have it here. There you go. And let's just I have some pop dots, I have some sticky tape over here, dimensional tape. This is actually just from the dollar store. It's really easy. I love foam tape. It's easy to apply and gives some dimension. Once you're set on how you want everything arranged on your card, then you just want to stick it down. And I like this. This is really fun and whimsical. I'm going to set this aside. And I'm going to use my no-stick scissors. It helps. And let's put her down first. I'm going to put a piece back there. And another little piece here. And I really like having things at an angle, so I'm going to leave her kind of dancing just about right there. I love a lot of motion. This card's got a lot of activity going on. Let's attach that mushroom. Just need a couple little quick snips. foam, add it in, use whatever product you like, however, whatever works for you. Don't go out and buy anything special, just use what you have in your stash. And you can buy more rubber stamps, right? And let's tuck that in here. And now for the flowers. I'm going to attach the outside ones first and put the middle one kind of above them. It'll be on top. Tuck that in there. Last flower. And let's do this. Up just a little bit. There we go. You still have leftovers. Always keep these little extra pieces you made because they're great for extra little embellishments or if you want to make some ATC or coins or anything like that. And that looks boring, so let's add some color to that really fast. I am just going to do this really quick and add some water to it. And I'm just going to dab it right back off a little bit. There we go. And I've got a contrasting color here. I've got Dusty Concord. Let's just edge it a little bit. Let's just edge it. That brings a little bit of purple to tie in there. There we go. Doesn't have to be fun, but I like the distressed, messy nature of it. It works. And I'm going to put it right at the top of the card right there. And again, my foam tape is right here. And this sentiment is included on the sheet, and then everything just gets mounted right onto your card back. There we go. And you are all set. Thank you very much. And I hope you enjoyed learning a little bit about our company. Come by or check out our shop, blankpagemuse.com, and see all of our wonderful stamps. Again, all of our stamps are pressed to order, and we make them and send them to you with love. Thank you.